Hello and welcome to the brewery for a brief video tasting one of my beers and comparing it to, well, the classic of the style. So, a while back I brewed a Cow Common, so effectively a Angosteen beer clone. It seems to have come out quite nice. It certainly smells the part. And today I have the real thing to go with it. So let me just go and grab a bottle opener and back in 1 second. Okay, so I have the two beers now. On my right, my version, and on the left, the classic example. So obviously there's quite a big visual difference. Mine is significantly darker. That's entirely down to the recipe, which I'll talk about a little bit more as we're tasting them. So should we start with the aroma? So minty herbal notes are obviously very strong in the classic example, backed by some good bready grain, and maybe a touch of caramel in there as well. But mostly it's the herbal minty notes and a little bit of woodiness, and the bread and bread crust, I think. And with mine, the minty herbal notes are there in a very strong way. There's a more distinct caramel backbone to it, with perhaps a touch of dark fruit, maybe even heading into the raisin area. In the flavour, mine has a nice balance of malt and bitterness, tending a little bit towards the sweet malty side, with the herbal note still very present, with the touch of the mintiness. There's quite a lot of the mintiness and some woody, earthy notes in there as well. With the original, the balance is much more towards the bitterness than mine, which is much more some more malty notes in it. The herbal minty and woody notes dominate from the hops, with a backing of the bread and just a hint of caramel. This is much more balanced towards bitterness than my example. Actually, the reason behind this is pretty obvious. This was aimed to be a little bit of a kitchen sink beer. It's not really supposed to be a clone of this. It's in the style, but it's right at the dark end of it. I actually put some dark crystal I had lying around in to use it up, which sort of explains why it's A, darker, and B, somewhat more caramelly. But it is, considering the recipe is not really designed to be a clone, it is actually surprisingly similar. Anyway, I hope that was interesting, and I'll be back with more beer related topics, more beer geekery, more building stuff, and more brewing soon.